everyone. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. Regardless of what you think it's going to be about or not, we are here. And I got my great co-host, Nina the Mystic.
Hello, everybody.
And hello. I don't know if we got a lot of people in the chat room tonight or not, because they're all over our watch and everybody else. But don't you worry, when they come on, they are going to be surprised. They're going to say, what a great show that was. I'm going to have to go back in the replay and watch it sure as the sure can be.
And yeah, I know. I noticed there's a lot of people on right now. So, no worries. We'll still have fun. So,
well, and that's what it's all about. We're going to have a good conversation, and we're gonna do our best, like always, and have a lot of fun.
There you
That's
go.
what it's all about. So what do you got going on while we're waiting for people to pile in? And tell them what's going on this weekend.
Not a heck of a lot for me. I mean, I got my live stream on Sunday, of course, so that's always fun. And you happen to be going to be coming on it, so make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel and tune in, because it's starting Sunday. Robert and I are actually starting a whole new read and discuss series. I'm calling it like a series or whatever. Yes. We're going to be reading from a spiritual science, which I do believe that, magic, we were talking a little bit about magic before we got on here. And I do believe that magic is today's science,
Yes.
And that's kind of where I think we're going to be tapping into here. That turns out, and like they've been trying to tell us, oh, well, yeah, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be talking to astrologers now or whatever. You don't want to do that. Right. But yeah, they do. They all do, right? They all consult all kinds of, even the queens and stuff back in the day, they're very devout Catholic, but they all had their seers and their astrologers and everything else up in there, So it was okay for them, to do it, but not for us, So, but luckily with the whole internet thing here now, we're all kind of getting educated and we're figuring things out, and we're realizing that, hey, wait a minute now, we've been missing out, So it's time to take back our own power, really.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So as I went on last night, if you missed last night's show, I talked about this book here, Exiting the Cave. Mm-hmm. Now, also, I talked about the first half of the show, I was trying to explain that I've had a voice speak to me.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
And that was interesting. I could hear it just as plain as day, like you're speaking to me right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it said, but I answered it. And I don't know if I should have answered it in my head or out loud, because I swear I heard it. Now, that was just a few nights ago. Mm-hmm. And I was laying in my bed. I was trying to lucid dream, and I heard this voice. And it said several words, I think 3 or 4 words. So it wasn't just like, mm-hmm. Hey, or something like that. There was multiple words. And
yeah, that's too bad that you didn't get the words, because there's definitely a message there. Obviously, somebody is trying to contact you. So keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track mm-hmm. here, right? So just keep at it. Next time, hopefully, you'll be able to hear the words more clear. Maybe have that intention before you even start that, and let them know as well, because they can hear you, that, hey, I didn't quite hear you last time. Can you maybe be more clear? Just have that attention before you even get going. And I wouldn't be surprised that, you're going to get all kinds of information coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might have a new buddy all of a sudden. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, I'm really trying to do the work. I'm reading the books. I'm, doing things to make my life more better, spiritually and mentally and physically, and practice this magic stuff. I have, I have every good intention for it. So that's that. I think that's a good part of it. And, like Lucky says, or you said that too, that you open the door, or you want to listen, the spirits will start talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're reaching out and they're reaching, and eventually you'll connect, because you kind of gotta, like, you gotta raise your vibration. They're gonna lower theirs a little bit so that we can meet sort of in the middle. That's kind of, so it is a little bit tricky. So it just takes a little bit of practice, and so just keep doing what you're doing, and you're on a roll. Yeah, and keep a journal. Keep a journal right there, like by your bed. So before you even think about going to the washroom or anything like that, start writing everything, even if it doesn't make sense. It might just be mumbo jumbo. It doesn't matter. Come back to it later, and maybe add it with other stuff that you've gotten. And next thing you know, you're going to get a whole message there, or, so yeah, very cool.
I love to write. I've started I don't know how many journals. And then I'll be like, oh, well, I was writing in that journal for this. And then I start writing in this journal for that. And then, and I don't know, I switch them up sometimes, and then I find another one. But I do want to tell everybody that from Christmas stuff, if you're watching this on a replay, or if you've been in the chat or whatever, I do have the journals that people won, wrapped up, address, ready to go. If you didn't send me your address, your journal, which is,
it's going in the garbage now.
Well, no, it's still here.
Yeah.
Like this one says Deborah Sloan on it. It's still here. I need to send it out to you. I still have them, and I want to send them out, but I don't have their addresses. People did not send me their address. So
that was the one thing I liked about having tickets, is because I already had their address now, all their information. I didn't have to chase them down. It was so much easier than not having tickets. But
yes,
again,
that probably was a really good idea. That was a really good idea, because I just put them in the chat, and I put everybody's name down, and then I did make a nice list wherever I put it here. See, I did make a list, and I don't know where I put it. But
the thing is when it's free, people just don't value it. So when they go and enter something, and by showing up to the live stream and putting your name in there, you are entering something, right? They don't care about following up because they didn't pay anything for it, and that's the sad true thing about it. So so people need to be following up. If you're doing things online, you got to follow up on that, right? It's just common courteous, to do that.
Yeah. We got Witchy Moon, who responded. Andrew Phillips, Mary Wins responded. Lucky Smith, Susie Q responded. Jackie J, Jargo, Amber Dawn. The only ones that I was actually missing when I got all done was Temperance, Deborah Sloan, and Karen Lynn. Now, Karen Lynn. Otherwise, everybody else is wrapped, packaged, and ready to send out, except for Susie Q, which I got to find a box for her soap. And,
so if anybody knows these people, let them know that Robert needs their address so that he can send out the prices.
Yeah, and then yes, Elderberry, you. I'll take it if Deb doesn't want it. Well, I think she said she wanted it, and she just didn't send me an address. But I appreciate it. And if I got an extra one, Elderberry, you'll have to send me your address if you want one. Put it that way.
Or just put them back in next time when you're doing a draw. Then
that's how I ended up with all the extra soap. So anyway, it is what it is. But I wanted to let everybody know as they start to come in from. I know everybody was over at Ryder Lee's listening to Wayne. Who wouldn't? I would be over there now myself, and Andromeda 7. But they're great shows too. So thank you for going over there and watching those, and coming over here and watching our show. We appreciate and love you all. Thank you so much. Mandy Moo, I am so glad to see you. She's all about the crystals and magic too. I keep trying to get her on, and I haven't you know, she missed the last time I had her and Delbart
Right.
scheduled. But I wanted her to come on so much and talk about crystals, and I wanted the magic and stuff that she knows about, because she is it. I'll put it this way: she has the brain power of like ancient wisdom, and in the body of a young lady.
Nice.
Put it, but that's how I can describe her.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I was gonna. I don't know. I should let you just finish up. Wait.
oh, okay. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm done.
I was
That's
gonna
all.
actually start on something else. I just kind of recently been paying attention to Dolores Cannon. I've seen her around before. I just never really dived into her stuff, right? So I didn't really know. I know
Oh,
she was
yeah.
into the quantum thing and whatever. And I thought, yeah, whatever. So I never did really pay attention to it. Then all of a sudden I did. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I listen to this before? This is like all the stuff that I've come to, but it took me years to figure
Hmm.
this out on my own. And here she's got it all. She's had this for years. It's been
Hmm.
sitting there.
Yeah.
So, which is very interesting because that kind of confirms to me that the stuff that I've the conclusions that I've come to, kind of thing, is bang on. And
Yeah.
she's bang on. Like we're
Hmm.
like it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's like wow, holy smoke. So yeah, I've been really into Dolores Cannon lately and kind of studying her stuff.
Ain't that
So
something? How the world kind of intertwines, and you may pass it by, and then it
yeah.
comes back around, and you're like,
Well,
wow,
the
we're
thing
on the
is, if
same
I
path.
had have done it years ago, I could have saved myself a lot of years of studying, but maybe that wasn't meant to be. Maybe this
Yeah.
was meant to be that I just didn't resonate before. I had a friend of mine was bugging me. He took her courses. He knows how to do the thing, and he wants to put me under because we want to try and find out a few things that, uh, you know,
Hmm.
and I'm like, yeah, nah, whatever. I was, yeah, I never resonated, just never, whatever. And now I'm going back to him. I'm like, yeah, hey, you know what? Maybe we should do that again. Maybe we'll do that thing that you were talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do
Well,
that.
sometimes you got to go out and do the work
Yeah,
yourself. That's the thing. You got to learn things for yourself. Just like I always refer to the
yeah,
hot pizza. The pizza's hot. Don't eat it, and then
right,
you eat it anyway. Oh, and you burn your mouth, and you go. And
right.
how many times in your life have you had to burn your mouth? Yeah,
It's because we're
lots
too
of times.
hungry. Don't wait to eat until you're that hungry, right? Because yeah, it's gonna.
Exactly, exactly. I want to answer a question.
Mhm.
Lucky Stone says, "Has anyone seen Crystal MacArthur lately?"
Yeah,
Yes,
yesterday
yes.
in the chat
I don't
last
know
night.
if it was Crystal MacArthur. No, no, that was Crystal Shaman.
Is that not
And
the same person?
no, Crystal
Oh,
MacArthur hasn't been on for a while. She's kind of shattered herself, but I remember the last time she was on, she came on to tell everybody that she was doing all right and everything was hunky dory. I think she started out, she changed her lifestyle, things like that, and she became a school teacher of some sorts, for like,
mhm.
or something like that. So don't worry, she's on a good path, and she's doing really well.
See, somehow I thought that was the same person. She just changed her name or something.
No,
But okay, all right.
no, see, and look, we got a bunch of people, and
Oh, just
in
streaming in
the
now.
chat, yeah, they're coming on in. We have Max G is in the house, Andrew Phillips, Elderberry, Far des Vetus. I cannot pronounce that name. I have tongue tied it up. Courtney's in the house from Stars of the Morning Light. Lucky Stone, as I said before, Mandy Moo, and Crystal Shaman are in the house tonight. Um, and Pearl Jones, Delaney Pearl Jones, who will join me next week. And she said she wants to come on and draw some cards or do something. And we'll hear some good, crazy wisdom from Delaney Pearl Jones, who will just awe and inspire us by her, you know,
Mhm.
backstreet down to earth, tell it like it is, to your face, how the world really works.
That's for sure. Hey, speaking of cards, I actually do have some cards here as well.
Okay.
And actually tonight it is a full moon in Cancer.
Yes,
So
notice my
happy full
background.
moon, everybody. That's right. That's why he's got that back there.
Back
So
there.
I hope that you guys can feel the energy. Some people find it very energizing. Some people, they call it lunacy, right? The lunar, people go a little crazy sometimes. But yeah, it is the first full moon of 23. Happens to be in Cancer. And I do have, of course, two of the Moonology decks. One that you have, and then I have the original one that she made as well. I always use these cards for, when I do my full and new moon stuff. I use the cards. I put them on my altar, and that's another thing that you can do with your cards. You can put them on the altar and stuff like that. But of course, they have a message in each one. So the original deck, the card, I don't know if you guys can read that.
Let's see if I can make it bigger for you.
A personal. That's okay. Well, I only see you now, but that's okay. I gotta read it. Personal issues reaches resolution. Okay, so this full moon here is very good time to make up, like kiss and make up. So if there have been any squabbles over Christmas, especially family, Cancer is all about family and home and that kind of energy. So this full moon in Cancer is a perfect time to kiss and make up. So if there's been anything lately, and of course full moons are all about releasing, and that's kind of what the other card is about. That's the deck that you have there. Let go of fears. Let your fears dissolve. So whatever fears are going on, releasing that is another good one for the full moon. It's all about releasing. So yeah, take advantage of the energy. That's the thing about knowing things like that, is you can plan ahead. Let's say you were thinking about writing that note or reaching out to somebody, but you weren't quite sure when. Well, look at the moon and the stars and whatever, and figure out when the energy is going to be best. So I'm telling you right now, tonight and tomorrow, it'd be an excellent time to do that. So yeah, and forgiveness, work on that forgiveness. That's been coming up a lot. And that was one thing that Dolores actually mentioned. One of the quickest thing, if you want to release your karmic things, you want to get rid of your that's why we're here to learn the lessons so we can get rid of the karmic consequences and whatnot. One of the fastest and best way you can do that is by forgiveness. And that's been coming up a lot in the readings that we do on Hump Day. And so the full moon is also, this full moon here is also, incorporate the forgiveness in there as well, with making up with especially family. It could be friends, family, whoever, but especially if it is a family feud. So yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know who we're talking about, I am gonna because, like I said, until you knew about this lady a long time ago. I don't know how we ended up on this subject, but last night, who came in the? It's on the tip of my tongue. Came in the chat room and started talking about Dolores.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's reading the book. I subbed her channel. I can't remember her name now either. I'm horrible with that though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What?
Oh, I can't remember. I subbed her. I know that.
It escapes my memory. I was just on the tip of my tongue, and now I can't remember it. I can picture her face. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, she knows who it is.
Yes. God, I'm terrible. Anyway, I'll remember in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, here we go. Here's the lady we're talking about. This is Dolores Cannon. She's a quantum healing hypnosis techniques. She's began a research of sacred knowledge and reincarnation. Hence, we were talking about reincarnation. nearly 50 years ago by fine-tuning her whatever something that QHHT method of hypnosis by creating a safe and effective method that bypasses the chatter of the conscious mind and focuses on obtaining unlimited information of the subnabulic state. I don't know if I said that right, but that's what I'm saying. Dolores Cannon discovered time travel is possible at any time or place to relieve anyone's past lives. For example, of the extraordinary results Dolores Cannon and her QHHT practitioners alike have experienced with clients and subjects during their sessions, healing the body, amplifying the body's natural ability to heal itself. We talk about that around here all the time. Remove karma, realignment energies with family members and romantic partners, and discover answers. Learn the answers to any personal mysteries. Apparently, she's wrote a bunch of books. She's got her own website here, things like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, check it out. And
it's good stuff. She did a series on Nostradamus. That is fascinating. I gotta say, like, that's, to me, if I was going to read anything about Nostradamus, I would be reading her books. So she channeled Nostradamus himself, like, through the clients. It's actually not her. She puts them into a certain state. And they go right there, like they're there. They don't even know. The clients don't even know what happened.
Allie Berry, that's
it.
Yeah, so go over Allie Berry. Hang on, I'll get her channel up. And if you haven't checked her out, Allie Berry has been reading from some of these books, and that's where she came on last night in the chat. Thank you, Allie. We appreciate it because, sometimes it's the time that somebody comes on and reignites stuff in our heads that we should go check out. And that was great because, like, Nina, I didn't know you were looking into that stuff or you were interested. And that's really cool.
Yeah, I just recently, like the last last week or something, like she's been coming up on my YouTube feed. So I've been clicking on it. It's time. I don't know why. I've been bypassing her for all these years. It's time. And so I was blown away. I'm like, holy shit, that's me. I figured all that out on my own, so that kind of confirms it to me that, yes, I am right. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Sean Vest is in the house. Thank you for coming. And he has something not broken, just bent our will. The will of the Supreme Creator, when activated within, cannot be broken. He is I, and I is him. All of us are gods. This is true. Okay, with that said, I've been reading this book, Exiting the Cave. Now, here's my thoughts on this. And I don't know if you guys, I don't, this is just my opinion. And I'm after reading this book, I have this feeling that maybe we are trapped in some kind of a, like a reincarnation trap where we go through this and then we reincarnate. And absolutely people, keep talking about, I've been reincarnated, such and such. Well, we all could kind of agree that we're here to learn, right?
Yeah.
We don't come here to goof off, drink beer, watch a football game, kick back, go to work, have a bunch of kids and die, pay taxes, I mean, what kind
there's lessons in that too, because we all kind of come here and got to do that, because that's kind of part of the human experience, and that's kind of what we're here for. So sometimes, if sitting around, goofing off, that might be their lesson for that life. Then the next life, though, you're probably working your ass off. You know what I mean? So there's, we got to experience everything, and so it's going to take a lot of lifetimes in order to do that. So, and then apparently we bring it, and that's how I've looked at it too, is that we're fractals of God is like an energy field. And that's exactly what Dolores, I'm like, Dolores, that's my stuff. But but she explained it perfectly. I'm like, exactly how I see it too. It's like an energy, like a white light kind of energy type of thing.
Mhm.
And we're fractals of that. And we're
Yeah.
like a little spark that goes into, each one of us, right? That
Yes.
learn whatever lesson, however long that lesson. Some of us don't even make it out of the womb, but that was the lesson there. So all kinds of different things, all different genders, different, races, different cultures, everything. And then we come back and
Yes.
bring all that information back. And that's exactly what she said too. I'm like, oh my God. All
Yeah.
right, you're on the right track here. Yeah, she knows her stuff. Yeah.
Well, and I totally agree with that. I totally agree that you come here to learn.
Hmm.
I totally agree that we're a fractal. I totally agree with all of those things. But at some point in time, you graduate. You should. Otherwise, you're just repeating that loop for infinity. And
Well,
you're,
you're done when you're done. So,
or,
have you learned everything though? And there's karmic thing in there too. So that there's that. So like people who commit suicide, for instance, if you do that, then you're definitely gonna have to come back, right? It's
yeah,
not like you're not gonna get out of anything. You're just gonna have to come back until you learn your lessons. So that this is where all the shadow work comes in. So if you want to speed that up, if you want to like kind of make sure that you don't have to come back as many times. You want to try and do as much work here and now as you can. And
yeah,
that's kind of what you were talking about. And so shadow work, right? And that's what
yeah,
you're doing. You're picking things, take a situation, right? And then start meditating on that and really looking at it as an adult now. Especially childhood. There's a lot of trauma that we're carrying around from then, right? So, like our parents, and there's so many disappointments and this and that. And so going back and dissecting the situation and looking at it as an adult and being able to understand it. And then maybe there's the forgiveness, right? That's maybe when you can, like, once you understand why your dad or mom did whatever they did, right? As an adult, you can maybe then, okay, fine. I'm ready to forgive and let it go, right? So, and it's very important to do that. Like Dolores was like, and I've been saying it, but the way she was, I'm like, yeah, there you go. No wonder it keeps coming up in the readings all the time. Like it's so important, and that includes yourself. A lot of people forget to forgive themselves for things that they do, right?
yes, yes,
So that you got to let go of what you did or said or whatever. Like all of it, like it all needs to be let go of.
mhm,
Otherwise, we're just bringing it back into the next one. Now we're going to keep learning it and going back to the same stupid situations again so that we can learn again, like, so yeah, doing the work now is definitely going to benefit you later.
yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And we have
Because,
free will here. So that's the thing.
but if we have free will, I mean, like I said, I've been thinking on this a lot.
Mm,
If we live in like a Truman Show, have you ever watched a Truman Show?
yeah.
You know, he always had the free will to leave. They always just tricked him in to staying and
Right.
then convinced him that he shouldn't leave and gave him
Isn't
every
that like
reason to
here,
stay.
like your job, for instance? If you ever said to somebody, "Oh, I think I might, change career," oh, they'll be like, "Oh no, you can't do that. What about your pension plan? Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? You can't do that, right?" There's always like that here.
Mhm.
They're always trying to convince you not to do something, right? So, yeah.
That is so true. I remember the first job that I ever had that was a good job, and I worked at this place, and we made steel bulk tanks and glove boxes and stuff out of stainless steel. And those tankers that haul milk down the road from farm to farm, kind of thing. We
Hmm.
we made those, and it was a good job, and it paid pretty good. It was probably one of the better ones paying in town. It was a dirty job, but it was a good job, and we worked whatever. And I was gonna quit and start riding horse. Start my own riding stable. And one of the guys looked at me, and he was young. He was about my age, maybe a year younger or something than I was. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh my God, you're gonna quit?" And what about insurance? What
Yeah.
about retirement?
I know.
What about all these things?
I
And
know.
he named them all off just like you
Yeah.
just did. And I looked at him and I said, but I'm 24, and I got a long time to save up for that stuff. And I've never even used my insurance. You know, what do you think I should do? I'm not going to stay here until I'm 65. I have no life. I want to experience things. Well, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to just come to work 10 hours a day and get 2 weeks off for the rest of my life. This
Do you know
isn't,
how many people are stuck there? They wouldn't
yeah,
leave because of that. Most people, right?
yeah,
So we live under the fear, constant fear. Ooh, what about this? Or what about that? Oh my God. Yeah, no.
yeah. And
That's why it takes us so long to learn all the lessons, because we're just stuck in fear constantly.
well,
You know.
yeah, it is a fear. So I quit and I started my riding stable. It was tough. I worked hard. I did the farming. I was at the right position at the right time to do all those things,
Mhm.
and I really had to. It made so many more good memories that I will never forget. I met so many new people and experienced so many things. Went on more vacations than I ever would with a good job, being broke and poor. Go figure.
Yeah.
And it led me down different paths. And then once I was at this one spot in my life and I was doing pretty good. And then I ended up here in North Dakota because again, took a chance and followed what, somebody told me I should follow. And they say, hey, you should go out there. They got good jobs out there and they're hiring. And
Mhm.
I left all my family, all my friends, everybody I knew, and I moved states away to get a good job, and it's changed my life out here. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna set me up for when I do retire, and I do want to have things, and it's made me a better person. And here I am today. I wouldn't be here um, right now if I hadn't taken those chances. I would have never met all you people. I wouldn't be sitting in front of this microphone. Nina,
Mhm.
we would never be having this conversation. My
Mhm.
mind would have been closed to everything. I would never
Well, you
be
would
able
have
to.
your pension plan though. You would have your
Yes,
insurance though, right? So
yes. There, and I would be working
yeah,
for the man, and I would be having no money, and that's
you might
yes.
get 3 weeks off by now.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe,
maybe.
probably. Uh,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah. Sean says fear is an ambition killer, and that is so true. You know how many people I begged and pleaded with, and actually helped come out here to get jobs that have came and left and turned around and went home, or never came out. I mean, literally, here's a job. It'll make you a lot of money. All you got to do is come out here, and they will hire you. And in a few years, you will be making more money than you ever thought of, and they won't come. They just won't come. No,
So they don't really want the job then. They don't want to
yeah,
work.
I don't want to leave my family and friends. I don't want to
Right.
go so far away. I, you know, I don't know what's out there. I don't like being, there's nothing out there. There's no trees. There's no this. They give you every excuse in the book not to
Right.
come. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it's a fear thing, and the biggest thing in that I can say is changing, like the cards. You pulled those cards, you know, forget about what did that one card say? Put away your stuff and move on, or something like that. I forget what that one said.
Oh, let your fears dissolve.
Dissolve, exactly.
Dissolve them. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a perfect card for this. you
Just
know
release. Release it in this full moon now. Just all the fears that you guys have.
Yes.
If you're able to, try to, and be mindful of that, right? So even if like you do it once and then it comes back, oh well, do it again. Like, don't stop, right? Just because it didn't
Yeah.
work once doesn't mean that it was all to vain. No, it takes repetition so that your mind will start to remember. Oh yeah, okay, we'll let that go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's a
Uh,
constant thing. Yeah.
Sean says, "Where do I sign up?" Yeah, well, all you got to do is decide in your mind that you want to change your life.
Yeah.
Get on that computer, the one, get on the internet, look up North Dakota, Sean. If you want to get a job out here, look up North Dakota and look for oil field jobs. And you too could probably come out here and get yourself a rockin' good job. And if you can't find anything, you go right ahead and email my email address. Link is in the description below, and I'll send you some pointers. Uh, you know, and that's the thing. It's he says I need an adventure. Exactly. Think of a new thing that you're fearful of as an adventure, and I think that's why we can't get out of the cave. And the more I look at this book, I think it's like the Truman Show. It kind of reminds me that he was fearful of leaving. They had instilled fear into him to the
Mm-hmm.
point of, well, he'll just go back and everything will be hunky dory, even though he knew something wasn't right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, have you ever felt that something ain't right?
All the time.
Yeah.
This
I
whole world is a bizarro world. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, here's the next question. Do you ever feel like something glitched in front of you?
well, your show did a lot last night, but no, but
Well,
no,
no, but
I
I mean,
hear you.
in real life.
Yeah,
In real life, has
yeah,
anything?
there is. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I've
Yeah,
had things.
actually,
I've had.
Dolores talks about that too. A lot of people, have experienced like you walk outside, there's like a huge construction thing. Next thing you know, the next day you go out and there's nothing there. It's
Yeah,
just completely gone, like things like that. And yeah, and nowadays they call it Mandela effect and all this kind of stuff. But these are all glitches, And
yeah,
I am starting to think that this source and God, whatever thingy, this is, it might be a machine. It
yes,
might be. And we all, and actually, my friend that I talked about that did the Dolores course years ago had like a huge, it wasn't a dream, it was more than a dream. And he came to me, it was like almost in a panic. And he had this thing, oh my God, I know what God is, I know where we go now. And he had this thing too about returning to the machine. We all
hmm
just return to machine and then give the machine the information. So,
yeah,
you can look at it that way. So there's something to it. I think this matrix thing. I think there's something to it. And that whole Truman thing. I think there is a message there for
mhm,
those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Right. So,
yeah,
and I believe every movie that comes out, there are some messages there that we need. You just got to know what to look for.
yeah,
It's there, right? Once you start seeing them, though, you see them in all the movies. You can tell.
mhm,
Um, you know,
yeah.
yeah, there's
Well,
a lot of Ganda in there.
well,
So
and there's a lot of uh, I mean, when you write a script, they're obviously channeling that from somewhere. You don't channel it from nowhere.
that was
Where did
another thing that I heard from. I'm just on this Dolores right now.
yeah, well, that's
Um,
fine.
and this is, it goes along with everything that I've come to as well. So the way that, so they don't come down to us anymore now to sit down and talk to us anymore, okay? But the way that they are transmitting their messages is in the ether, is in the waves. So we pick it up, like people are sensitive, right? We pick up ideas. Where do you think all these people got the ideas? Like what's her name, Rowling, who wrote all the books on Harry Potter. That was
Yep.
all channel. They came to her like downloads. Okay. And same with the guy that invented the inventions. And also another thing too is that it's not just one person picking it up. And you've noticed that when somebody invents something, there's always a few more that did the same at the same time. They all got the idea at the same time. Movies, you'll see that there'll be the same subject in different movies. All the producers got the same kind of idea around the same time. And that was another thing I paid. I'm like, yeah, you're right. She's bang on. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it is. So yeah, so this is what we're doing here with the cards and channeling and meditating, all that. This is how we're going to communicate. This is how we do it.
Yes.
So that's confirmation. Like I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm on fire with this right now.
No, I love it. I love when you're on fire with stuff.
Yeah.
That's when the good stuff comes out, Nina. That's when the good stuff comes out.
Exactly.
But see, that's the thing. It's there all the time, whatever it is. So I mean, see in the chat room, some are saying it's a machine, some are saying it's a thing, but and that's the thing. We don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's something. And just like the people of the past, they seen things like in the sky, and they would say, "Oh, it was a giant thunderbird. It made noise that shook the sky and the earth." But what was it really?
I know I had an epiphany earlier today. Somebody was talking about something, and with the whole Matrix thing, right? That means that something or somebody made this. Like, say it's a video game. Like, let's compare this to a video game. Somebody made it. Okay, here it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it needs to be played, which means it's already made.
Yes.
But we're playing it right now, and this is why. Because I've had, I have reoccurring dreams before, like throughout my life, and then it happens, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And I came to that conclusion years ago, right? That there is no time. The reason why I'm able to do that is because I've already been there, done that. That's the only thing that makes sense to me is that, I've already done it, right? So then when you take that whole, say, a video game, okay, that's already programmed. It's already from start to finish. It's done. He's done the whole thing. Now you get the game. Now you get to play it. But the ending is already done.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of goes with the free will. So you choose this thing, okay, then the ending's going to be that. You choose this thing, okay, then the ending's going to be that. That's kind of how it is too with us and the free will thing,
But yeah, you're so right. So the thing is when you're playing that game, the game is already set up. There's certain points of the game that cannot be changed. Although you have free will to do anything you want in between those points. So there's a cliff coming up, but you got to find a bridge, right? But in the meantime, getting to the bridge, you can go left, right, up, down, fight the Crusader, blow up some stuff. Dragon comes out. I'm just making this up. I'm not good at video games, but
sounds like Nintendo or something that you're on. But yeah,
I think that was the last. That was probably the last game I ever played was a Nintendo something with the little guy bebop.
So I guess the point is for us to find all the mushrooms and all the whatever that we can click on that we get bonus points for, and whatever.
Yeah, but when you get to the certain point, you got to get to a certain spot to get to the next level, and that's what I'm saying is that, you can do anything. That's your free will there, but like certain things in history cannot be changed, like the towers falling down. There's no way you could change that point in history. It's too big, but yet you could probably go back in history and change maybe where you saw it, or maybe what you were doing that day. You might be able to change what footsteps you took, or if you were standing in the kitchen, or if you were outside working, but you couldn't change the fact that the towers were falling down, right?
I don't know,
but
maybe we could. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's interesting. Yeah,
it's one of those significant points in history that everybody remembers. It makes tidal waves throughout history, like
Kennedy. Well, that's shot, because it's so recent. Yeah, it's only
Hardly.
20 years old, so there's no way we're still alive. Like the people who were there are still alive. So it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to remember that. But I know they've fudged with our history. Like they've tacked on 1,000 years, I do believe.
Yeah.
There's so many things that they've lied, and then trying to cover up with burning all books and all knowledge and all this stuff, right? So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that Hancock came out with that documentary on Netflix. And
Mm.
the archaeologists and whatnot, they're all upset about this because it totally goes against the narrative of what they've told us. So whether they're aware of that or not, I'm not sure.
I think,
If they're in
they
on it
are.
or they're just ignorant, I don't know. Some might not be, but yeah, very interesting. I'm very glad to see that came out and on mainstream kind of, so that people can see it. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Hmm.
here's the thing about that is, for instance, Delabore, he was saying that his grandmother his grandmother is 100 years old, right? And that she was telling him that the history that she learned is pretty much is the same as the history we're learning today,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Yep.
got to thinking about it. So if you're 100 years old, that means you were born in, the early 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like to collect old books. My old books, anything from 1900 and up, or like early or late 1800s and up, say 1890 and up, is pretty much what we're learning today. But once I get past the 1870s or and
Mm-hmm.
something like that,
Yeah.
all those history books that I collected are different. They have different everything. The history is
Yeah,
all said is
they tried to burn most of it, but I'm sure there's a book here and there that made it through, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, exactly. Like
Um,
I've been reading out of that one book here. This I forget where it is right now, but anyway, it's my old book from 1833 about the history of the world and the deluge and the floods and stuff like that. And they're
yeah.
talking about how there was multiple floods, and they're trying to relate them to Noah, and they're saying, oh yeah, that there was floods here, and we
Mm-hmm.
we looked up the Chinese records, and people have been around for a million years already, and blah
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 blah, and they
Yeah.
got the story about the floods and how the dinosaurs were out there, and when the flood came and who was in charge and how they survived, and I'm like, what? And then they got the story of America where, the giants were here and they're finding giant bones and the stories of the Indians
Mm-hmm.
and how Jefferson said, hey, you know, there's something big and wild out there and it goes through the woods and eats people, eats villages. And what the heck is it? And he didn't
Mm-hmm.
know if it was real or not, but the Indians were saying, it was just here. We got the bones, and he's showing them the bones, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, so this is pretty recent, you know,
Yeah.
and yet I've never ever heard that story before. They've
No, I
wiped
know
they've
they're
wiped
yeah,
that.
cover that up. They don't want us to know all that, right? It goes against their narrative of their religions.
Yes,
So this Ganda's been going on, 2,000 years essentially, right? It's not new. So it's,
yeah,
they're really trying to keep us down. The only thing that's changed lately now is with the internet for sure. And
yeah,
people, being educated to read and write. It wasn't that long ago, really, that most commoners didn't read or write at
yeah.
all, right? You just
Hmm.
worked. That's it, and we just trusted the priest usually or whatever to read for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah.
how
So,
many? We did a few shows on Tartaria, remember?
yes. Yeah.
And now the old books that I think I found one the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, here's the 1800s book, and it's talking about Tartaria, and and in
Yeah.
that book, it talked about Tartaria like it was a real place with
It
real people,
was. Yes, I know. That's why when you
and
look at all these old photographs from like one of the beginning, I guess. I don't know if that was in the late 1800s or whatever, that the old clunker photo thing came out. But you see all these photographs with these giant people, like, almost twice as tall as us, right? And so they're covering it up. They don't want us to know that the Tartarians were that tall and that they were there and that we built all our monuments on top of all their stuff. And and all, they don't want to, that's why they burnt and erased everything. And so if you try to mention any of that, I'm sure you'll get shadow banned and they'll just shut you down and cancel you and whatever. So yeah, very interesting now though that we're waking up here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can
Speaking
hear
of
you.
Atlantis, I actually have the Atlantis cards in my hands right now.
Oh, I could hear you shuffling cards.
Yes, I got them in my hands from Diane Cooper.
Woo.
And these cards, I kind of like them because you'll get a message, but you'll also get like a lesson on how the Atlanteans did things. So it's kind of like a message for you, but also a lesson.
Okay. What's our lesson tonight from the Atlanteans?
Do you want me just to pull a general one, or do we have time to pull for people, or is it getting too late?
Well, we got about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
10 minutes left. What do you want to do?
It's up to you. I'm not in no rush here.
Does anybody want a card out there? Let me know in the chat. Yes. Chloe's in the house now, and Divine Empress. Thank you for coming. There you go. Scotty boy, bones or cash. What kind of broke we calling that out there? Yeah, that's right. Scotty boy's always full of good news. But anyway, if you want a card, let us know. And I think, why don't you pull one for Sean? He's been in the chat room for quite a while, and he seems to be a little bit down on his luck or whatever. Here, maybe Atlantis has some. I hope you're good with that. Sean Vest, pull a card for him.
All right.
I hear that voice in my head saying he needs one.
Yeah. So before I start these kind of live shows with cards and all that kind of stuff, I already call in my guides and angels. The intention is for Spirit to give you a message in here. So there will be a message for the person, but there's also then a lot of stuff for everyone else, in here. So let's see what we can get for Sean here.
And Chloe said she'd like a card. She says, me. Okay, Chloe.
You got the dolphin card.
Dolphin card. Ooh, the dolphin card.
Dolphin. So let's see what that says here.
Sean, that's
the number 9. So sometimes the numbers will resonate with people as well. I don't know if 9 means anything, but dolphins came to Earth from Sirius to teach humans. They are wise ones who also maintain the vibration of the oceans. In Atlantis, they telepathically impaired guidance, technological knowledge, and wisdom as they swam with people. They still do this, at the same time offering us healing and joy and helping to reconnect us to our soul energy. After the fall, the mighty angels of Atlantis took dolphin bodies and became the angel dolphins. They seek people who are pure and dedicated enough to work with them now. Wisdom and joy. This card suggests that you live lively and wisely, bringing joy, fun, and laughter into your life. You are also guided to develop your healing abilities, serving your fellow humans and the planets. So that's interesting how the Atlanteans were very connected with dolphins. And I do believe they're one of the smartest animals, are they not?
Yes. You want to hear a little story about dolphins?
Uh-huh.
And this is going to be kind of funny because I had Valerie Bartolini. She was on, right?
Okay.
And she was the super soldier lady.
Okay.
And she was talking about how she was from Atlantis at some given point in time, and she had dolphin DNA.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, then we got Trina, who said, something about Atlantis at some point, and how she remembers being in Atlantis, and they were putting they couldn't save everybody, so they were putting the consciousness of the Atlanteans into the dolphins.
Well, they said angels.
And
Yeah. They
and
put
and,
their
and
yeah.
then yeah, and I mean, so
Oh,
when you read this stuff,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
where did this come from? I mean, I got two sources that were talking about Atlantis and dolphins, and now you're reading that card that's talking about the same exact thing. How weird is that?
So these are all
So,
synchronicities and stuff that are showing up. So you got to pay attention. Okay, what is the dolphin message? Now you can look at, you can look up the what is it called, spirit animal, as well, and see what the dolphin means to you, Robert, since it's showing up a lot, right? So
yeah,
pay
yeah.
attention to that. Yeah, for sure. There you go.
Okay,
Yeah, very cool.
Chloe wants a card.
Okay, Chloe,
Get
let's
one.
see what we got.
Chloe loves to have a card.
Whoa. Okay. All right. The silence.
Ooh.
Let's see what it says. So that's number 19, the silence. It is only in the silence that we can truly connect with the awesomeness of all that is. The people of Golden Atlantis were all enlightened beings. All enlightened beings knew this. They led quiet, relaxed, contemplative lives, constantly attuned to the highest. They spoke little as they communicated telepathically. In those days, there were none of the noisy, vibrating cars, planes, or machinery that we experience now. So the very earth was still and silent, and nature supported divine communication. Quiet contemplation. Receiving this card indicates that you are called on to spend some time in contemplation or meditation. If possible, go somewhere in nature where you can be still and peaceful. Remember that you can more radically access your inner wisdom when it is silent. Be still and access your inner wisdom. So that's a little hint for Chloe. I don't know if you've been very hectic, very busy. It's just go, go, go. This might be, just a little reminder to take some you time and for meditation and stuff like that. So
Yes, yes.
yeah.
She says, "Thank you, Nina. I'm telepathic with a few people now, but not many." So, that's something interesting to think about. Um, and being more telepathic. That's the way what I try to go with. I would
Well,
like to be more
yeah. So if
telepathic.
you want to do that, right, you're gonna have to, turn off the TV, turn off all the noise,
Yes,
go somewhere quiet. If you can do it in nature, that's great. But it is winter, so a lot of people don't want to maybe go outside. But at least find somewhere quiet and practice. Keep doing the things that you're doing. You're not gonna be able to do it otherwise if you get distracted and all this kind of stuff, right? So it's just a little reminder to don't forget to pencil that in. Some people literally have to pencil that in. So yeah.
yeah. Let's see, yeah, being quiet. That's the hardest thing. A lot of people can't be quiet.
No, I
Um,
know. I know.
Hang on, I got find something here, and then we can take it on out. Hang on, where the heck is it? And I'm pretty sure I put it here somewhere. Where did I put it? Let me let me find it. It's for tomorrow's show, and I'm trying to. When you want to find something, you can't find it. I just
Of
thought
course.
about find. I just thought about finding. I got like a million of these things on my front of my. And I can't.
Too many tabs.
Too many tabs. I got like 1,000, and I try to keep getting rid of them. And anyway, maybe it's in this one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Shrink that. Put that back. I'm driving the bus, boys and girls. I'm driving the bus. Okay, tomorrow night, before we go, tomorrow night, I got a special guest on. I hope y'all can join me. I had her on once before, and it seemed like nobody watched too much because it was on a Monday night or whatever. But here is the thing I got for her, and share tab with audio. Okay. Screen, here we go. And oh, come on, play. Okay, so anyway, Diane is from Art and Soul. She is stop share. There we go. But anyway, she is coming on tomorrow night. She will be on the Milky Way tomorrow night, and she talks about colors, frequencies. And if you haven't seen that show that I put up a while ago, she will be joining us tomorrow night. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be talking about frequency and colors. And Nina, you know anything about frequency and colors?
Everything is in frequency, energy, frequency, that is basically the key to the whole thing. Honestly, I do believe that the pyramids were built actually on they use frequency to move things, like there's so much stuff that we haven't been taught, that's coming out now. I know Michael Tellinger, he's got a lot of good stuff on that. That's another good one to go and check out. But yeah, there's a lot to that. So very interesting. I'll definitely be tuning in for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The last time we did some breathing exercises, she's all about good stuff like that. We breathed in, breathed out. Did a little meditation stuff. Remember, Nina's got a meditation video out there. Go check her stuff out. It was really good. But anyway,
I also start out my meditation with I call it the 4-step breathing. So you count for 4 seconds in, right? Hold it for 4, out for 4, hold it again, and then in and so out, and do that 4 times. If you do that, you'll notice a shift in your energy just from that alone. So doing that before the meditation is important. Yeah, all of this is, good stuff. You're going to benefit from it for sure. Yeah.
Was there no sound with that? She says, Robbie, we didn't hear it.
There was no sound. No, I didn't hear any sound either.
Oh, I heard it in my head. But
did you? I didn't hear it here, but I wasn't sure if the audience did.
That was the thing. There was sound in my ears. I had the thing with the audio. I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, there was supposed to be sound.
We saw the thing, so
it was much better with the sound in my ears, though.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But anyway, we've run our hour, and thank you, Nina, for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
It's been a lot of fun.
I can't wait to have you on Sunday, so make sure you tune in for that, people.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And if you don't have the PDF,
we're going to be doing this, reading this.
Yes, or the spiritual science book, then, email either one of us or go to your Discord. And
go to my Discord channel, and there's a server, a room, or whatever you want to call it, just for his stuff there. There's a free PDF in there. Okay, so go in there, guys, get the PDF, read it for yourself, right, and get caught up or whatever, have it if you want to read along, whatever, or order yourself a hard copy if you want. It's always nice to have that as well. And follow along with us. We're going to be studying, and hopefully learning and then applying, and hopefully we'll get some answers to a lot of the things that we're talking about. You know, actually be able to get the proof in the pudding kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
So
and the
yeah,
big thing, this is all wrapped up because you had Agnos on twice, not once, but twice. And he's
yeah,
the guy that wrote the book. So
right,
if you're
yeah.
interested in the book and you like the book, go back and check Nina's other episodes out with Agnos himself. And who knows, maybe we'll get him on this show and be able to ask him some questions then too. So
Yeah,
either way.
the quickest way is go into my playlist, and it'll be you know, Cindy Light with guests, and you'll get to see all the shows with all the different guests. I've had a lot of good guests on. So if you're new, you know, go and check out my channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like, and all that good stuff, and join us on Sunday. Yeah.
That's right. And in the meantime, everyone, remember, go out, be the frequency you want to receive. It's always good to be that frequency. Love you all, everyone. Peace, everybody.